Reading Matters 6. Novel. The Last Wild.
Kester Janes is locked up in Spectrum Hall, home for the troubled children, far away from his dad, the scientist. He hasn't spoken ever since his mother died, even though he tries so hard. Then, one day, he meets a bossy little cockroach who Kester names the General. Much to his surprise, Kester can understand what the cockroach is saying to him, and more astonishing yet, he can speak to him too. The General wants to help Kester escape, so he can save the last wild animals that have not yet fallen prey to the deadly red eye virus. The General leads Kester through Spectrum Hall with an army of cockroaches pursued by the Wardens, and they jump into a hole in the ground that leads to a sewer. I land with a massive splash in a puddle. There's a disco display of torch beams going on over my head, but the Wardens can't get down. "Come down," says one of them, and then I hear their boots running overhead as their lights move away. I'm in total darkness, with hundreds of cockroaches clicking and scratching around me. I start crawling after them. I wish I were brave, like a soldier walking through a minefield. Then maybe crawling through this tunnel full of muddy water, cockroach slime, and something that smells really bad would be easier. I say crawling, but actually, it's more like swimming. The water is so deep. I didn't even know cockroaches could swim, and here they are paddling alongside me. They don't speak, not even to one another, or stop to rest, just keep on pushing forward. The Warden's thumping feet have totally faded away now, and all I can hear is my own breath echoing off the wet walls and the occasional crisp crack from a roach. This tunnel isn't a smooth pipe. It's jagged and uneven, and I keep cutting my hands on the rocks. It might be my imagination, but the farther we go, the deeper the water seems to be getting. As the water rises, I can feel the floor of rocks fall away from my feet, and I start to bump and scratch my head as the roof of the tunnel gets closer and closer. I'm working hard just to stay afloat. Slowly and steadily, more and more water, tasting of soil and dishwasher, starts to splash into my mouth as my arms grow tired. "Slow down!" I call out into the blackness. "I can't keep up!" There's no reply, just quiet splashing. Then, very faintly, some distance up ahead, I hear a deep voice, like the beat of a drum. "We must keep going. There is no time to lose." But the ceiling of the tunnel has dropped down right in front of me. Tracing the outline of rock through the water with my hands, I try to search for the narrow layer of air between it and the water that they expect me to swim through. Except there isn't one. The tunnel from here is completely underwater. I take the deepest breath I've ever taken and plunge under the surface. I struggle to squeeze through the gap. My legs kick, and I feel the weed-covered walls of the tunnel draw closer and closer in. Water goes up my nose, burning. The last drops of oxygen leak out of my lungs. My chest wants to explode. Panicking, I think I should go back, but it is too late. I give one last feeble kick with my legs. The tunnel of water breaks into a torrent, turning and tumbling me like I'm in a washing machine before finally spitting me out, bouncing and scraping against the edges of a filthy pipe, down some slippery rocks and onto a wet patch of grass. I can see stars. I mean, not cartoon stars around my head, but actual stars in the sky. My chest heaving. I fight to catch my breath, turn onto my belly, and cough up some water. As I raise myself onto my elbows, A light shines straight into my eyes, and beneath that, I can just make out a pair of feet. A grimy pair of feet. In sandals. Dr. Fredericks stands in front of a line of wardens. Behind them, the curved glass of the hall, lit up with searchlights. We're outside, in quarantine zone. But no one's wearing a suit or a mask. There's no aircon, no special glass roof, no electric doors sealing us in. We're just out here, in the wet and the wild, where the red eye rules. I turn around to see what lies behind, although I already know. The small patch of grass slopes down towards the edge of the cliff, beyond which is nothing but rocks, sea, and big, big trouble. His glasses speckled with rain, Dr. Fredericks takes a step towards me, holding a syringe in his hand. "One little prick," he shouts, to be heard above the gale blowing around our heads. "One little prick, and we'll put this unfortunate episode behind us." This is it, I say to myself. There's only one way out, and it looks a very long way down. The General trots up my arm out of nowhere and into my anorak pocket. "You think we haven't planned this down to the last detail?" he barks. "No time to explain. Just jump whenever you're ready." Dr. Fredericks takes another step towards me. I take a step back, towards the edge of the cliff, carefully balancing with my arms outstretched. "Careful there, young lad. We don't want an, unfortunate accident now, do we?" I look up at Spectrum Hall, the lights crisscrossing through the upside-down tinted glass boat. A breeze of wet spray flicks the back of my neck from the sea below. "Whenever you're ready," says the General. "You have to trust us." I close my eyes and take one step back, then 2 steps. "Kester," says the doctor. "Look, I'll even put this down. Let's talk. I'll explain everything." He places the syringe on the ground between us. "Please." I smile. I got the doctor to say please. It was worth it for that, if nothing else. I take a last step back, and as he lunges for my legs, crying out, I fall back into the air. Piers Torday, 1974.